Welcome, everybody. Episode 8 of the Buffoons podcast. I'm Jake. Joined with me is Big Al. We've got Troy. It's April 26th, the day after the NFL draft has concluded. We've got NBA playoffs in full swing. So I think we should just jump right into it. I mean, first off, it looks like Big Al is finally proud to represent his Raiders on the podcast. I noticed the Raiders shirt. I think it has something to do with maybe the fact they finally got themselves a quarterback, possibly. I mean, all signs would point to that. I certainly hope he pans out well, being an Indiana fan. But um, Alex, how are you feeling now that it's official? You've got Fernando Mendoza. You've had a couple of nights to sleep on it. How are we feeling, man?
I feel great. I feel great, Jake. I saw something yesterday that was the funniest thing I've ever seen too. It said Fernando Mendoza after 24 hours with Max Crosby. And they took Fernando Mendoza and gave a little speech. And right away he goes, "Let's fucking go." And he did like his voice cracked when he said fucking, but it was like within 24 hours of hanging out with Max Crosby, Fernando's already cussing.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of jump in there, I mean, unless you consider like what Carr your last quarterback, like who I
Geno
can't
Smith.
even who?
Geno.
No, we're not
He's
Well,
starting
Troy,
quarterback
counting
this year.
I will say, do you know who the last number one pick we had was?
Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah.
Mm. And before that, I would argue the best quarterback the Raiders had in a long time is Rich Gannon before that. So,
Yeah.
I
And then
mean,
before that, you had the Plunkett.
so
Your
my
son line
point
the other day.
being here is you guys just haven't had realistically a elite, we'll say elite, because wherever you put Carr and Gino is up to you, but it's been a minute. Let's just
Yeah, and I
say.
wouldn't put Rich Gannon elite. But the last time they had a first overall pick, quality talent at quarterback, it was Jim Plunkett, and that's when they won 2 Super Bowls with him.
Yeah.
So
I think I was a little nervous because we have historically just done really bad in those early first round picks. So even though I was like, there's no way we don't go Fernando, I was like, all right, what if the Jets offer 5 first round picks? Like this is not locked in,
Well,
like we
yeah,
don't
I remember
really,
you even mentioning that before the
yeah,
draft. You're like,
we don't
would you
know.
do that?
Yeah, but
I
I
actually
will
don't even think you
say,
can offer that many.
yeah,
I
but
think
I
there's a
will say I
restriction, but
think I'm almost like I almost feel like Fernando wasn't part of the draft. I almost feel like he was already part of the team in a sense. So
Yeah.
when we drafted him, I was just kind of like, okay, they did the right thing. Like, but okay, I already knew he was kind of on the team. But I will say I think if healthy, I think Jermod McCoy, that pick right there, if they can get him healthy, I think that was like a steal of the draft. So I'm almost really excited for what Spytek did other than Fernando, right? Because I mean that's a pretty easy pick, and no one's gonna blame you if he does tank, right? Like, or if he does suck, like if he's a bust, no one's gonna be like, oh wow, you're an idiot for taking Fernando Mendoza. So your
Right.
job's
right.
kind of safe with that one already.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It was it was the obvious pick, right? Sometimes that's all you can do. Which
Yeah,
is why I was like concerned that the Cardinals weren't gonna take Jeremiah Love, right? For
which I'm
anyone that's
glad they did for
confused,
you. I
right?
think I think out of all our teams, Troy's the only one that's really upset by his draft picks.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
mean,
actually, Troy, how do you feel about your guys' picks, Troy? I know you already did a short and everything, but let's tell the people that that don't watch the shorts.
Yeah. I mean,
so for anybody, let's just set it up really quick. Okay, so for anybody wondering, Troy is a Rams fan, and the Rams had the 13th pick in the draft. And sitting there at 13, you had a number of talented players, right? You had Lemon, you had Sadiq, and then Ruben Bain was there, right? Right, Shrive? Ruben Bain was
oh, he
there.
was
Yeah,
there.
Ruben Bain. Ruben Bain was there.
Oh yeah.
And Troy and I are live streaming the drop, and we're sitting there, and we're like, okay, which one of these teams or which one of these players is the Rams going to take? It's got to be one of these three. And funny enough, like right before um, they had put Matthew Stafford's stats up, and I was just, I don't know why they had put his stats up on the screen. I guess they were doing that for all the quarterbacks, but I wasn't paying attention. And so I just jokingly said, Troy, there's no way they go Ty Simpson here, right? I was like 99% joking, to be completely honest. And then Troy responded with, what did you respond with, Troy?
I don't even remember what I responded with. These last 3 days have been a
Well, you said you weren't going to watch football next year.
Oh, well, yeah, that was like 2 minutes before the actual draft
No,
list. So
I'm
that was
just saying that's
actually
when I asked you about it, when I said, like, there's no chance
Oh,
they take Ty Simpson here, right? And you said, yeah, no, but if they do, there's no chance I'm watching football next
I
year.
believe exactly what I said was if Ty Simpson is picked, I will not watch the NFL next year. I will not play fantasy next year. I will not talk about the NFL. I will fall off the face of the planet when it comes to football next year. I believe that's exactly what I said.
But you can't do that running a podcast.
I mean,
I
I
think
don't
he was
think I'm
just
going to,
emotionally reacting,
considering
but
I'm wearing this
Well,
hat. But yes,
look,
I
I
mean, like
I respect it, Troy.
I think he
I
was
respect
emotionally reacting in the moment.
yes, which is
I
what I
But
respect
normally do.
they are deep at wide receiver, so I could see both of those being. I can understand why the GM didn't feel the need to go Sadiq or Lemon there. I really can. Um, and I can understand they don't have a successor for Matthew Stafford. Not having a successor for Matthew Stafford means that McVay isn't necessarily locked up, and he's an incredibly young coach. They probably want to be able to lock him up for a long time. So to me, I kind of understand the long-term play. The short-term play, it does kind of suck when you're in a win now mode, and a lot of people could argue they were possibly one player away from winning the Super Bowl, especially now that you saw the Seahawks take a step back in terms of their roster. So who would you have wanted out of the three players?
I wanted Ruben Bain Jr.
Okay.
Like, I think Ruben Bain's going to I think he's going to be really good. And the reason why I wanted Ruben Bain Jr. is because I think the Rams have an overrated pass rush, as I've said dozens of times to you guys and probably on this podcast already. They have a great pressure rate, but they don't have an actual success rate of sacking the quarterback. And I think Jared Verse needs to take that step forward. And Byron Young had a great first half of the year last year, that he fell off the face of the planet the second half of the year. And so when I look at their pass rush, as we saw in the championship game against the Seahawks, how much time did Sammy Boy Darnold have in the pocket back there? A lot of time.
He had quite a bit of time.
You give any quarterback that kind of time, I think they're going to be pretty damn successful. And so I really wanted to get another tier to the pass rush. But as I've had 3 days to kind of sleep on this, I want to say I kind of see the vision for this draft, because if you look at their first 3 picks, I'm not going to go into the 6th and 7th round. They didn't have a 4th and 5th round pick. But if you look at their first, 2nd, and 3rd round picks, they went Ty Simpson, Max Clare, starting tight end out of Ohio State, and Keegan Tross. He's a swing tackle out of Missouri. So the Rams needed depth at tackle, so that was absolutely a necessity. But the tight end spot, they have like 5 tight ends on their roster now. 3 of those tight ends are possibly going to be gone after this season. Higbee might retire, and then you have 2 other ones whose contracts expire. So that would leave Terrence Ferguson and now Max Clare as your tight ends. I get that moving forward. I also understand that Clare is kind of a versatile tight end. He can play in multiple spots, and especially he plays in 13 personnel a lot. So that goes with what the Rams and McVay love to do. And then Ty Simpson, I could see, like I said, them really building this draft for 2027. To me, it looked like they felt like their roster didn't have any glaring holes. So they're building for a year or 2 out. And so I can kind of see it. And this also tells me to kind of conclude this, because I don't want to ramble too hard. The Rams aren't done making a move. I think the Rams have one big move in them, and I could still see them going after A.J. Brown post-June.
Well, it sounds like that's already a done deal with the Patriots.
Yeah, I think it is. But really quick, there's still a couple other guys you can plug and play. I mean, not that I think it's a good one, but I mean, OBJ's there. Keenan Allen's still available, I believe. There's a few other guys that are like two wide receivers, and I don't think the Rams need another number 1. But only thing I was shocked by was, Jake, I was on the same page as you. I was like, this makes total sense for trying to lock McVay in for another decade.
Yeah.
But what didn't make sense to me was his reaction to it. I understand, and his excuse to it did not convince me. He was like, "Hey man, we all have bad days. Like, you're a little grumpy." It's like, why would you be grumpy if you just
on the draft day?
Why would you be grumpy on the draft day? Like, isn't
that the day you're supposed to be like calling the player and being like, "Yo, welcome to the team, man. We can't wait to have you." Like,
yeah, he didn't seem like you wanted to call him, talk to him, bro.
Right? No, I don't think McVay loved the pick in the moment.
But that tells me, like, I don't know, man. Like, you would think the GM and him would be on the same page if they're trying to if the goal was to make McVay happy, you would think they would have talked to him about that.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what? This kind of. Go ahead, Jake.
so,
Sorry.
I mean, to me, there's just one quick point I just want to make, and to me, it's just obviously I don't want to make it sound like like I could do a better job as an NFL GM, right? We're just sitting here from our.
You might be able to, honestly.
No,
Like,
no,
There's some questionable calls sometimes that you can sit there in real time, which is why I like to discuss them and put them out there, right? So that you can reflect back on them in a year or two and be like, hey, no, here was my take, and I think that I was actually pretty spot on, and
dude,
here's
I
the
lived
evidence
with
for
you
that.
long enough, Jake. I will say you've made some. You always call out. You're like, why are they passing up on this guy? Why,
Yeah.
dude? You know what the best example was for me, and I agree. I didn't even know a lot about football then. Was T.J. Watt, bro? He kept going
Yeah.
down, and you kept going. Do you guys know who his brother is? Like, how do you
Uh,
not trust this guy to
Dude,
be?
he went late first. I want to say he
Yeah.
was one of the last picks in the first
Yep.
round.
Yep.
He was, I think, pick 30, if I remember off
And
the
dude,
top of my head.
and by pick 10, you were like, dude, why aren't people looking at
I
T.J.
mean, in
Watt?
fairness, that's not even that difficult of a one to call, but that's
No,
one where you just see the mismanagement of the GMs where you're like, how are you not taking this guy?
Derek Carr.
This is Derek Carr was another one I called. Yeah, but to me, the real main thing, I actually don't have a problem with the pick of Ty Simpson, to be honest. I was hoping the Cardinals were going to trade the number 34 pick with the Texans 28th pick and actually go and draft him at the end of the first round. That's what I was really hoping would happen, so that we could go get a quarterback and a running back early and address those two positions for the future. However, the one piece for the Rams is I think they could have traded back 7, even 10 to 12 spots, and Ty Simpson probably still would have been there. And as Troy just mentioned, they didn't have a 4th or 5th round pick. This is a draft where there's you could argue that some of the players at the top maybe wouldn't have gotten at that same position in a normal year's draft. It wasn't quite as top heavy, but there was a lot of depth in this year's draft, according to what a lot of talents and
Dude,
scouts and GMs were saying.
dude,
So
the
why
fourth
wouldn't you
round.
just trade back 10 spots and acquire a 4th round pick or something like that, especially when you've nailed Puka Nakua, Kyron Williams? I mean, those are players you've hit on. Just trade back a few spots and try to get those picks. Now, maybe there was no one willing to trade back. Maybe there was no one, but we saw other picks happen within that same realm where we saw the Eagles trade up so that they could go draft Lemon. Oh, no, who did they draft, Troy? Was it
Makai
Makai
Lemon.
Lemon? Yeah, they did trade
Yeah.
up to draft Makai Lemon. So you saw moves like that happen to where it's like, okay, now tell me why you didn't just trade the 13th pick to move back to 20 or 22.
The Raiders did. They got up into the fourth round with 2 picks, and they got Jermon McCoy and Mike Washington Jr. I mean, there was a ton of talent in the fourth round still. A ton
I
of
know.
talent.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be my only criticism of it, to be completely honest, because I don't hate the pick.
I don't hate the pick either. It's not a sexy pick by any
But
means. I understand
actually,
why
there's one more
Troy would
thing
be
I
upset.
just want on a talented athlete and Anthony Richardson, but he hadn't played very much either. And sometimes there's a whole lot to be said about that because you can't beat experience on the field. I don't know, man. I don't know if you want Ty Simpson getting to be 23, 24, 25 and really only having played, um, you know, 15 games of football since he was
Yeah.
18.
No, I agree. I mean, he played 15 games last year and then sat the whole rest of his college career before that. And the Rams, based on this draft, they love seasoned players coming out of college. Max Clare is a 23 or 24-year-old guy coming out of college. Their swing tackle in the 3rd round is 25. Their wide receiver that they drafted in the 7th round is actually a 7-year college player. I believe he's a 5 or a 6-year college player, something like that. So they really like experience. And to take Ty Simpson is the exact opposite of experience in college. And I think there's just 2 final things I want to say on this is Matthew Stafford is rumored to be signing a 2-year extension with the Rams. So this tells me that, like you said, Jake, Ty's going to be sitting for another 2 seasons. Okay. And then the last thing is this kind of reminds me of like the Tim Duncan, Greg Popovich tandem in the NBA. Now I know McVay and Stafford have only won 1 together and Pop and Duncan won 5 rings together. But Pop always said, when Duncan retires, I'm retiring. That didn't necessarily happen. Pop still coached for a few more seasons after Duncan retired, but
It wasn't the same though. His drive wasn't there.
I mean, they still won 67 games without Duncan 1 year.
Oh, I know.
So it's like he was still good, but my point being is I think they also did this Simpson move because they could possibly see this happening with McVay after Stafford leaves. Because, bro, McVay said in the press conference after they drafted Simpson, I just want to make one thing clear. This is Matthew Stafford's team. So he
Yep.
made sure to point that out because he
Yeah, he
loves
did.
Stafford,
Yeah, he
right?
did.
And he doesn't want anybody confusing it. Like Simpson's coming in to take Stafford's job. No. That's not what's happening. This guy's going to sign for 2 more years. And we're going to try win a Super Bowl with him. And then Simpson, if he's good enough, will be taking over. But,
Bro, he said he went further than that. He said that he's gonna compete for the second
right, for the
string job, dude.
right. Yeah. With
They don't
Stetson
even know if
Bennett.
he's gonna be on the practice squad or actually make the roster.
Right.
Those subtle comments make you wonder if, like again, especially with his body language on the day of the draft. If again, I don't think he was thrilled with the
I
pick. I
Jake,
think he was hoping for Sadiq because as a brilliant offensive mind like McVay, I think he was like, dude, go get me a tight end like that because you've seen what Tyler Warren was able to open up for the Colts offense. You've seen what Brock Bowers was able to open up for the Raiders offense. You saw what Trey McBride's able to open up
Yeah.
for the Cardinals offense, Laporta for the Lions. I think McVay was like, yo, you have Puka and Devontae Adams outside. Go get me a tight end like that. But
which
I
is
don't
why
think
I still think like I was listening to something and someone made a good point and they said they don't want this turning into an Aaron Rodgers situation in Green Bay, like where you consistently just don't draft for Rodgers in his final years. And
Mhm.
I don't think Stafford's like that. I don't think he's like a sensitive guy. I think he's tough and he's willing to do whatever it takes for his team. But at the same time, it's like, guys, I only got a few years left. You got to get me maybe one more piece,
he's
which
coming off an
they
MVP season. It would have been nice to get him something.
That is
right.
the
That's right.
yeah, I think the big problem too is like Jake hit the nail on the head. You add a tight end like that to what you already have, and
Dude.
that elevates you. Like, uh, dude, how do you guard that team at that point, dude? So I understand like the frustration.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing too, is the draft next year is not supposed to be like this draft, from my understanding, as deep at multiple levels. So I'm also wondering if the Rams were thinking like, hey, we're probably not going to have this high of a pick again for a long time. So, and the quarterback room is not supposed to be as deep
Well, but that's
as
also the thinking though, Troy, is you usually don't get gifted a number 13 pick when you're a game away from the Super Bowl,
right,
right? Like
right.
typically your pick is in the so I can also see that thinking too, where you're like, man, it's not very often we get ourselves a pick like this to be able to go snag ourselves an elite player or a potential elite offensive player
But on the flip side of that, though, too, Jake, it's like you've seen the formula
or
work before
weapon.
where you can trade picks for an elite quarterback. You also could have done that later on.
Yeah,
So where
no,
you know what I mean? So like there's multiple levels to this.
it's true, but I think like we talked, and I just want to make this really quick point. Then I just want to move on to a few other things on the draft
Yeah.
really quick, and then
Yeah.
we'll move on to NBA. But just another really quick point. There's already a number of quarterbacks that are pretty good that maybe don't necessarily love the franchise that they're with. You have Joe Burrow up there. You've got Josh Allen up there. I mean,
Yep.
you've got a couple of guys that might at some point look and say, "Hey, I could use a different change of scenery." If you're going to go do that, right? One of the most appealing things is it's very hard to go win with another franchise as a quarterback. You have new systems. I mean, we've seen how difficult that is. That's why you and I have talked about, how impressive that was for Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, even now Stafford being able to, do really well in the Rams.
Especially in McVay's system, who's one of the more
Right.
difficult ones.
Right.
Yeah.
But if the Rams have already done that before for Stafford, that's a reason I'd want to go there. So you may not need to even draft a quarterback for the future when you've got McVay and the track record of bringing in Stafford at 35, 36 and going and winning a Super Bowl. I think the first season you brought him in.
He was only 31 or 32, actually.
Oh, really?
So they've already had him for 6 seasons. It seems like it
Dang,
hasn't
that's
been that
crazy.
long.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
what about like the winners of the NFL draft? I really wanted to touch on one dumpster fire of a franchise real quick, if I can, that I thought was a big winner of the draft. And I'm actually wearing their team color today, not by chance, but just kind of funny that it happened this way. The Jets of New York. I would like to just name off their first 3 draft picks and kind of tell you guys. I mean, Kenyon Sadiq, Arvell Reese, and Omar Cooper Jr. were their 3 were first round picks. So that is very, very exciting if I'm the Jets. And then I look at their quarterback in Geno Smith and I go, oh, The world makes sense again. But I mean, overall, like the first round for the Jets, I would say they're one of the bigger winners.
Oh, I mean, like I said, though, I mean, if you have 3 picks in the first round, you should be a winner, right?
Should.
Yeah, I mean, if
You
I'm
would
the Jets,
think so.
I try to tank one more year, get a quarterback that's coming out of this class because this next class is the quarterback heavy
They
class,
have
and
2 first rounders next year.
that's what I'm saying. You just tank, and that way you make that way you can secure that quarterback because even like you saw this year, Alex, you could be the Cardinals with the number 3 pick. It doesn't matter sometimes if there's only 2
Yeah.
quarterbacks coming out, like
Yep.
you don't get them at that point.
Yep.
But if you've got the assets to trade up, because you've got the number 5 pick, the number 15 pick, and then the 33 pick or 34, like now you got the stuff to trade up. They
And
Yeah, I'm
also
gonna
have
bring
Brees
excuse
Hall they can trade at the deadline too, which I would encourage them to do. I think it would fit their timeline better to
and
trade him.
excuse me, I butchered them. I actually drafted David Bailey, not Arbel Reese. That's my mistake.
Yeah, that was the
And
Giants. Wrong New
it
York
was
team.
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, I did get that
Yeah.
confused. And then actually their second round pick was D'Angelo Pons, a really good cornerback coming out of Indiana. And he played with Fernando Mendoza down there, and he's regarded as one of the better non-first round cornerbacks. So
Yeah, they
Yeah,
had a good draft. They had a good
they had a good
draft.
draft. Yeah.
But like you said, Geno Smith, dude.
Dude, you would know.
Yeah,
I
I
would
mean,
know.
I do think another team that won the draft. I agree with you, Troy. I think another team that won the draft. I think the Giants were a winner in this year's draft.
Yes.
I hate to say it. I think the Cowboys had a pretty good draft as well.
I mean, with
And
how
then
much talent was on this draft, there's going to be more than a handful of teams that had a good draft.
The
Yeah.
first round was absolutely loaded.
Yeah,
It really was.
I
It
thought
was.
I won't say that they were a draft winner, but they are my team. So I'll just say I do think considering they didn't have a first round pick, I thought the Colts did a pretty solid job. I was pretty happy with their first 3 picks.
I think the
Um,
Cardinals did pretty good too.
I was
And I
about
was
to
just
say, I
gonna
thought the
say,
Cardinals,
I
yeah.
was just gonna say, I think that's the
Yeah.
team that I'm excited to see what happens. Obviously they took the player that I was hoping they were gonna take with the number 3 overall pick in Jeremiah Love. I was
Bro.
They didn't have the ability to go get um, the quarterback that I was hoping they were gonna get. So since the Rams snagged him and Ty Simpson, but they went and addressed the O-line with pick number 34 with a pretty solid offensive guard. And then in round 3, they went Carson Beck, quarterback out of Miami that was in the national championship game, was in college for 6 years. Um, Interesting player, pretty divisive, if you will. Pretty sure he was the one that was dating the porn star on the sideline during the championship game.
Who,
Um,
Lisa Ann?
no, different. I don't.
Johnny Sins?
That one, yeah.
Okay, I thought
That's
so.
Hey, really quick, just
but
on your guys' first pick. Dude,
Jeremiah Love.
you guys got a real one, man. They asked him
Oh, dude.
they asked him what he was gonna do with the money he just made, and he said nothing. I'm gonna put it away and invest it, and I'm only gonna spend money that I get from my endorsements. He goes, I'll buy my mom a house and buy myself a Lamborghini. But I thought that was really smart to not just go make that purchase right away because the Chiefs, I think 29th pick, he already has I don't know if you saw what I sent this morning on Instagram.
Yeah.
He already purchased 2 of the most expensive Maserati SUVs for his mom and sister. He blew like over $300,000 on the first day, and he's only making like 2.1 mil.
What a
Yeah.
genius.
Jeremiah Love sounds a lot like Odell Beckham Jr.
Well, let me
Not
tell you, Jeremiah Love is he's one like your draft pick, Mendoza. He is the perfect guy that you want. Hardworking, humble, gonna do the right things, talented, goes home and just watches anime and plays video games. That's literally like what he likes to do. He doesn't like to go out and party. He doesn't like to do any of that. He's actually like a lot of teammates have always wondered, like, does he even like us? And he's like, yeah, no, I do. I'm a little more reserved. Like that's just kind of his personality. So you don't
Yeah.
have to worry about him going out and doing um, stupid, crazy stuff. And
Puka Nakua stuff.
yeah, I just think he'll
God.
be a good locker room guy. And I'm excited for the Cardinals, man. The teams that I follow for college, ASU, obviously I went there. That's my team. But I root for IU and then I like Notre Dame. So I've followed him. I know all about Jeremiah Love and I'm excited to see what the Cardinals do with him. The only thing that I'll say really quick is I was hoping instead of drafting Carson Beck, the Cardinals were going to go and trade for Tyson Bagent, the backup quarterback for the Bears, because there was a little bit of interest in him from the Cardinals organization. I think the few times that he started for the Bears, he showed some promise. I liked him, and I was willing to take a flyer on that guy just to see how he did. And if it didn't work out, hopefully the Cardinals are landing at the top of the draft again next year, where Arch Manning is coming out. But now the Cardinals have all the offensive weapons to surround the quarterback with. They've got the running back, they've got Trey McBride, arguably the best tight end in football. Um, as far as pass catching goes, you've got Marvin Harrison, and he needs to be unlocked. But the hope is Mike LaFleur can. I almost said Mike McVay. The hope is that Mike LaFleur can unlock Marvin Harrison Jr., unlock the offensive line talent that was there 2 years ago, and then we saw Michael Wilson step up last year with Jacoby Brissett. So even if Jacoby's our quarterback again this year, I don't entirely hate it. So that's that. The Colts. Um, they got CJ Anderson. I like that pick in the second round. Didn't hate that. So anyways,
Well, they drafted McDonald in the
Yeah.
second round, who I think is really good.
Yeah.
And their defense is already really good.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I mean,
think
Will
they're a winner.
Anderson, like you've got now McDonald and some other pieces on defense. I think they were going to have one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah. No, I think they already did. Yeah. And they will. Yeah. No, that's a
Yeah.
good point there for sure. Okay. Anything else you want to touch on for the draft? Anything else that stood out? Any other picks? Any other teams that did anything?
No, I'm ready for NBA.
Okay. So NBA is in full swing. We actually have some games here starting a little over an hour. Today's April 26th. So a lot of series are through the third and fourth games here in the series. So what do we think now that we're this far in, Troy? And I'm gonna kick it over to you first.
I think first thing I want to start with is that Denver Minnesota series. First of all, that game was crazy yesterday. But I think the biggest takeaway is your starting backcourt for the Minnesota Timberwolves is now down. Dante DiVincenzo is announced with a torn Achilles. And about an hour ago, Anthony Edwards did get announced with a bone bruise and a hyperextended knee.
So do you think he's for sure out, Edwards?
Shams Charania reported that he's going to be out for at least 2 weeks.
Ooh.
So, I mean, you're up 3-1, but
Man,
if they win the series, I think it's safe to say we're not going to see Anthony Edwards again this postseason.
Yeah.
I think that is pretty safe to assume here.
What
This series, man, has been so interesting. I have a few stats I want to share with you on yesterday's game, the T-Wolves and Denver, and then we'll kind of go down the list of the games from yesterday and the series in total. So Denver shot 6 for 28 from 3. Minnesota shot 9 for 25 from 3. So Minnesota was +3 or +9 from the 3-point line. Jokic shot 8 for 22 overall, 0 for 3 from 3. Jamal Murray shot 10 for 25. Your two best players can't shoot a combined 18 for 48 and expect to win a playoff game on the road, especially when your third best player and your most important player, Aaron Gordon's injured.
Yeah,
So
especially when you needed to. I mean, they didn't know that Anthony Edwards was going to hyperextend his knee, but you knew you couldn't go down 3-1 that game. You knew you had to come out and play well.
Well, that's the thing too about Anthony Edwards is he was not looking good in the first quarter. He already has runner's knee. He had that injury what Steph Curry had, which had him miss like almost half the season. So Anthony Edwards has not looked good, especially in this game. He was missing every jump shot possible. He wasn't exploiting to the rim, and I'm like, Anthony Edwards does not look good. And then he goes out and hyperextends his knee, and I'm just like, man, that really sucks for him. Another key stat, and this one is absolutely jaw-dropping when you hear it. Minnesota's bench was +60 over Denver. +60. Like that is just you don't ever hear that.
So because of that depth and that athleticism, Troy, do you still think that they can steal a game from Denver before they can win 3? Like, who do you have winning the series now?
Denver, I think It's
You
tough to
also have
say
Jokic,
Denver.
who's probably the best player in the world still.
I know, but I said before the postseason started, if Aaron Gordon stays healthy, I think the Nuggets have a chance to win the championship. He has not been healthy. I think it's going to be difficult for Denver to win 3 games in a row. And who's the guy that came off the bench? Nasambu? He's the guy that had 43 points for them off the bench. And he had 25 points off the bench last game. They got him from a trade from Chicago before the trade deadline. And he's just come off the bench and been one of the best players in the entire series. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I still think Minnesota will win the series.
Okay,
Which
now, okay, then that's gonna just leave me. I'm gonna take over here real quick because I got some questions to ask you about that. Then, so I'm gonna move into the Spurs and Portland series then, because we know that Wimby he's pretty. I mean, he's out today for sure. He could be out for a few more games after going down and taking that hard fall that put him unconscious for a good 10 seconds. So you could have the Trailblazers upset the Spurs and the Timberwolves potentially upset the Nuggets, which could then put you in a situation where the Trailblazers are in the conference finals. That's a potential scenario that we have if they could get past the Spurs. If not, it puts the Spurs right there in the conference finals, because if the Timberwolves win this series, yeah, the Spurs are gonna demolish them with no Anthony Edwards.
Or DiVincenzo. Actually, I think the Timberwolves have the better overall team than the Spurs. I think they match up extremely well with the Spurs. And the thing that's annoying is, I'm just going to say it, I do not like the Spurs. I have not liked the Spurs for a good 20 years.
Yep.
What's very annoying is Dylan Harper, their rookie, came off the bench for them in the last game and scored 27 points. That's not going to ever fucking happen again. Okay? I'm sorry. A rookie's not coming off the bench and scoring 27 points on the fucking road. So no. And Denny Avdia has got to be a lot better. Denny Avdia's got to be a lot better. If Denny Avdia is even just a little better in this game, Portland's up 2-1 in the series. So
do you think the Nuggets can actually come back though?
No, I do not.
No, I just asked him while you were up. I asked him like, "Hey, do you think
No.
the Nuggets are who do you have winning?" And he thinks the Timberwolves.
I think the Nuggets can. I think with their experience, I think they can come back with no Ant or DiVincenzo.
I think Jokic right now is going to see blood. If listen, Jokic is just a different breed of player.
He's pissed. He's pissed. You saw him go after McDaniels?
I do, but here's the thing. The Timberwolves still won with DiVincenzo playing 5 minutes and Anthony Edwards not scoring over 5 points and only playing 18 minutes due to his injury, and they still won the game.
That's fair. That's fair.
So if there's ever a team that could come back from a 3-1 series, I have absolute faith in Nikola Jokic. But considering how much Denver struggled with Minnesota overall, it just doesn't look good.
Yeah, you're asking a lot still, but
yeah,
boy, that's going to be really unfortunate because so far, I'm not gonna lie, outside of the Suns series, just because those games haven't been very competitive. I even thought the Lakers and Houston game, even though the score would tell you it's not been competitive, the games themselves have been entertaining and fun to watch.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, the game the other night, I thought for sure the Lakers were going to lose. They were down.
Yeah.
What was it? 6 points with 25 seconds left.
Yep.
I thought that game was over and it was going to be 2-1. I was going to be like, okay, well, Durant will be back potentially. So we got ourselves a series.
Over now.
And now all of a sudden it's just a series. It's over. But I would say outside of the Suns and Oklahoma Thunder series, which I've got my thoughts on in a minute because the Suns are
I do too.
I know, because the Suns are going to come back and win.
Yes, the teams are 160-0 in the series up 3-0, but the Suns will be the first team to come back.
Well, I'm just saying, if you go put 10 cents on the Suns to win the NBA championship this year, your odds are really, really listen, it's worth it for 10 cents. Okay, I'm just saying you can make a lot of money.
Dude, you might as well just give your change at the grocery store to the Save a Kid Foundation, okay?
Okay, well,
there is no shot.
MGM can do what they want with it, okay?
There's no shot in hell the Suns win a championship this year. No chance. Zero.
Oh, jeez.
Vegas has been struggling, and BetMGM gets my money, so they can have my change. So, anyways,
you might as well just give it to me. You're just throwing
the only
it away.
thing is, I really hope we do get a Spurs. Where I was going with that, sorry for the side track.
Land your plan, dude.
Freaking sidetrack there. But where I'm really going with that is that I hope we see a Spurs Nuggets second round. I don't want to see an injured Minnesota team versus Portland in the second round. I don't want to see that. These playoffs have been good so far. Because the Suns are about to be eliminated, I don't have a horse in this race. I don't really care, since the Pacers and
I
Suns
don't
are
want to
out.
see. I don't want to see Minnesota go past this round at all. Like I don't want to see an injured team. I
Right.
don't
Yeah, I
care
don't
if
think anybody wants to.
yeah,
Yeah.
no one wants to see that. The
Yeah. So
Spurs are gonna beat that ass
I
out of
hope the
if they don't
Nuggets
have.
come back, take it to 7 games, give us something entertaining, then give Wemby time to recover. If that series goes to 7 games, hopefully Spurs win that one and we get a Nuggets Spurs second round. I really want to see that series. I know, Troy, we don't like the Spurs, but I want to see that series. I do. I listen, as someone who's never seen his team win in basketball, we have 0 championships amongst both teams I root for. Like, sometimes you just have to accept that the team you don't like is gonna win, and I just wanna see some good basketball. So,
Yeah, I mean,
um,
I've accepted that like 6
just
times,
don't get
literally.
as long as I don't have, like, a Spurs-Celtics finals, God forbid if we have that,
Spurs ain't get Jake, Spurs ain't
but
getting to the
no,
finals.
I know,
Okay.
but
Okay.
as long as we don't have something like that, like, dude, I would love to see a Pistons I don't think the Pistons are gonna win, let's get to that series, but I'd love to see, like, a Pistons Thunder finals, like, I have no problem with that. But Troy, what about the Pistons series? They're down to the Orlando Magic now.
Yep.
This would
Yep.
be I wanna say what did I say? It would be the 7th time in history that a number 1 seed would beat a number 8 seed in the playoffs.
Vice versa. Number 8 seed would be the 1 seed.
Sorry, that what did I say? 1 beat an 8?
1 seed would be
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I'm stupid.
I I think
Um,
I think Big Al deserves a little credit on this one if they
I was
actually
I
do
was
take
about
this
to give
series.
you your flowers, Alex. I
If
was
they
about to
win
give
this
you your
series,
flower.
if they win this
If they
series, I
right.
deserve some flowers on it.
You do. I've been calling them the Orlando Tragic for the longest time. Um, and, Alex has been high in the Magic in the regular season. I said, let's wait till they get to the playoffs. And quite honestly, I think the Magic are a better playoff team than they are a regular season team.
They are. They are for
well,
sure.
and they match up, and like we've talked about, Detroit didn't have that postseason experience.
Yep.
I've seen Monty Williams teams do really well in the regular season and have great regular season records, and then not do
I
quite as
think they're
good in
also
the playoffs.
I think they're a bad matchup for him though too, Jake. I just think
They are.
They are.
With
Yeah.
Franz and Benchero being 6'10", that's a lot of length to have to deal with. And Cade's 6'10", but he's not used to having to play against 2 guys that are 6'10", you know?
Yeah, but this would be the 7th time in history that, an 8 seed would beat that would beat the 1. We have, 1994, the Denver Nuggets beating the Seattle Supersonics. That was a 5-game series, though. Then in '99, the Knicks beat the Heat, again, a 5-game series. Then you move to the 7-game series, so this has only happened 4 times in history where an 8 beat a 1 in a 7-game
2007
series.
Warriors.
Yeah, beating the Mavs. You had the Grizzlies beating the Spurs.
Spurs. Yeah.
11. Then you have that 76ers team beating the Bulls in 2012.
That's because
Little
Derrick
different
Rose
though.
went down.
Yep, exactly. Like I say, a little different though.
Yep.
And then in 2023, you have the Miami Heat beating the Milwaukee Bucks in 5 games. And that was when
So
that Heat team ran into the finals.
I will say I'm gonna give Cade a little bit of a pass because I feel like he came back pretty quick from that lung injury. And I think he's still adjusting to that. And let's be real, dude, if your lung had collapsed, you might be a little nervous to go 110%, because it might always be in the back of your head a little bit for a while. But my biggest concern right now is Jalen Duran looks terrible, bro.
Yeah, he's
He
had a
looks
rough one.
awful, dude. And that's a double guy like every night usually. And
Right.
he looks terrible.
Yep, and I've said this in the group chat. This Pistons team kind of reminds me of a worse 2009 Cavaliers team when LeBron was really just doing everything for that team. And Cade kind of reminds me of that right now. He put up 37 in the last game and they still lost. And it just feels like, and this is one of the issues that I've had with the Pistons. And I'm just like, outside of Cade Cunningham, who else can really give them just an automatic 20 to 25? There really isn't anybody on our team that can do that.
If Duncan Robinson is hitting his threes, he can, but that's an if, right? It's
Yeah, but
not.
he's a catch and shoot guy. He's not I can set other guys up. I can pass the
He
ball
doesn't
for
create his own
points.
shot. Yeah,
He doesn't create his own shot. He's a catch
Nope.
and shoot guy.
Yeah.
So he's not going to ever do that. And so one thing I've been looking at with the series too is like Tobias Harris had a good game for the Pistons, but he's as inconsistent as they come. He'll give you 25 one game and then give you 5 the next. Like I don't really know what to expect from him. I think the guy who I'd like to see more from is Asar Thompson for the Pistons. I mean, they used a lottery pick on him. He's their most athletic player. He could do kind of a little bit of everything. I'd like to see him be more aggressive, maybe guarding more, scoring more, whatever. I just think overall the Pistons are also having issues with Orlando's size. I think when Paulo Banchero's engaged, he's very difficult to deal with.
So what do you have that
Yeah.
series ending in? Do you have the Orlando Magic beating the Pistons, or do you think the Pistons will still figure it out?
I have Orlando winning in 6.
Okay.
Look at this
Yeah.
guy. He's
Wow.
on the wagon, baby.
I still think they're the tragic, but I'm giving Alex his flowers.
Yeah. Alex has been on 2 teams pretty much all
Oh,
season.
Hold on. I didn't think the Wizards were going to do anything this season.
No.
though.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there were
Okay,
2 teams.
okay.
No. I'm not about to criticize. I'm about to give you your credit for that, because I would argue the first half of the season they were terrible, and the second half of the season they were much better. And they didn't close quite as strong, but there was a good little blip in there where they were playing really well, and you had called that well in advance. And then same with the Orlando Magic. So
I
Yeah,
think
the Wizards it was almost like a troll, but I do think if AD is healthy, I'm interested to see what him and Trey can do next year. But the Magic, I knew come playoff time because one, they didn't have Franz Wagner, and two, Branchero just plays so much better in the playoffs. Like
yeah.
you can just
Okay,
see
for
when the game
the
matters, he plays a lot better.
for the
Well,
sake of time, let's just run through a couple more of these here, because I want to make sure we get a chance to kind of touch on everything here. But Suns Thunder, that series has been pretty much a blowout, uncompetitive series, unfortunately. Some bad calls, not going Devin Booker's way. I got to squeeze that in, but wouldn't have changed the outcome of the game. Any thoughts you want to give on that, Troy? I know you had a couple thoughts on there.
oh yeah, this is actually the series that I want to talk about the most outside of the Timberwolves series.
But really, not even the Cavs or the Celtics series?
No,
Okay.
no,
I was hoping for a little more analysis on this.
we can still give it. I'm fine with running a longer
Oh,
pod.
cool. You just trying to fire me up for content? This is what you're doing? You want to talk?
Oh
You really
no,
want
I
to talk
mean,
on this?
I
On the
do
Suns
actually
Thunder?
really want to talk like this, even though this
Okay,
is a
cool.
blowout
Yeah.
series, and I said it's going to be a sweep.
Blow you up.
Um, people are going to get turn their backs up at me for saying this, and people are going to probably get a little offended. But here's the thing: Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is that good. Okay,
He is.
he's that
I know he is.
good.
That's why he doesn't have to foul bait. Just go.
I agree with Jake. Me and Troy had a long combo about this, but
It's exactly why you don't have to do it.
He is putting up historic playoff games since last year. Okay, it's not just this year. It's since last year. He's going to be a back-to-back MVP this year. He put up 42 points while only shooting 3 threes and
I
making
know.
one of them in this final game.
And
in
he
this
shot
last
like,
game.
what did he shoot? Like 80-something% or whatever it was. It was something stupid.
God,
He
I
shot
love
15 for 18. 15 for 18
Yeah.
overall.
I
He
literally
is,
love that.
of course you do. You're a Kobe Bryant guy, and this is why it gets so annoying for me when fans say they're tired of Shea. It's like you guys complain, not you guys personally. I'm
83%.
saying fans in general complain that all the league is too 3-point shooting based, which it is. They're
It
right.
is, yeah.
But then you have one of the best players in the league that's strictly a mid-range jump shooter, and people still hate the guy.
I have
I
no
don't
problem with
hate-
him except for the foul baiting.
I don't hate SGA, but here's the problem.
Change the rules.
I was gonna say, Jake,
I-
I don't even. As much as I hate to watch the foul baiting, it's on the refs, man. Like, I think what's more annoying is you're seeing the Thunder like notoriously get more calls than the other team.
They are. And that's the problem. But that doesn't
Okay.
change don't get me wrong. They're blowing these teams out by a lot. They're way deeper than these teams. That's not going to change the outcome of the game. No one's suggesting that. All I'm suggesting is that from a viewership standpoint, the product that they put out for viewers to watch is terrible. It's not fun to watch. And that's what's driving me nuts. Now, hold on. The defense that Oklahoma City plays is great to watch. That's what I'm saying. Like they could be such a revival for the NBA if they would just stop with the damn foul baiting.
Okay, but I have a caveat to that. why were ratings up when James Harden was doing this with the Rockets?
Dude,
Okay. Oh, I could tell you why. I could tell you exactly why. I'll answer my own question.
They
He's a
shot threes.
3-point shooter.
They shot threes. Yep.
Exactly. And people love 3-point shooters, and then they bitch on the other end and say too many people shoot threes. What the hell do y'all want?
hold on. That's not fair because that
I
is
want
during
you.
No. That is
I want
that's
you
not
too,
entirely
guy.
fair to say, Troy, because when an era is when there are a couple of players that are changing the game, of course that's entertaining to watch. And by the way, I'm not giving James Harden the credit for the NBA being up. You're talking somebody that was never in the top 5 in jersey sales in a single season ever. I'm not going to credit him for the NBA viewership and ratings being up. If you want to say that Steph Curry, LeBron James, and those players were the reason that the ratings were up during that time, I'll give you that. But I don't believe that
I'll
it was
never
James
say that.
Harden. I don't think it was James Harden. And I think that one of the reasons that they're down right now is LeBron James, and people don't care for him all too much. But I think another huge reason that they're down is the other thing too. And let's just get into this. I'm just going to rant on this for a second. The NBA, while viewership is down, can you please stop streaming your damn games on 15 different platforms where it makes it impossible to find your freaking game? It makes it impossible to just sit here and communicate with your friends about the game. You're like, oh, you don't have Peacock, you don't have Amazon Prime. Well, here's my login for this. Oh, you got to download this. Oh, you got a smart TV. Yeah, make sure you go log in and do that. Like, you can't communicate with. Fix that.
It's
Fix that.
terrible.
That
Yeah.
is the worst
Terrible.
thing while your viewership is down and your product sucks. At least give people the opportunity to freaking watch it.
I highly agree with this, and I'm going to end my rant on these final stats. If you're Devin Booker,
Oh, here we go.
okay. Oh, here we go. If you're Devin Booker, after game 2, this fool went on his press conference after the loss and he's crying about the refs. He specifically called the referee out by name. That said, these calls are atrocious, whatever he said. But then game 3 happens and he puts up 16 points on 6 for 16 shooting without Oklahoma City's arguably best defender playing and Jalen Williams with a hamstring injury. Okay, in the starting lineup, much less. OKC free throw shot in this game, 21.
How many free
Suns
throws did Booker get? Don't tell me how many shots the Suns got, because that's not what I've complained about. I've said no. The Devin Booker, if you were to just say, okay, what is Devin Booker allowed to get away with before a foul is called on the other player? It is up here. And then if you were to say, what are other players in the NBA on average allowed to get away with? It's up here. And then you say, well, what is Devin Booker allowed to get away with before a foul is called against him? And it's like, dude, you have to straight up elbow Devin Booker right in the jaw to get.
Jake,
That
why
still doesn't
hasn't
excuse 6 for 16 though.
It
still
doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
But
It
how
doesn't.
many free
Without
throws did he get last night, Troy?
I believe he shot 2 free throws.
That's what I thought.
What do you mean that's what I thought? Here's what I think.
He averages
Here's
like
what I-
he averages
No.
like 8 a game for his
No.
career. They don't
Okay,
give him
here's
calls, man.
Here's what I think. Devin Booker's been in the league for over 10 years. He hasn't adapted to the NBA rule structure where he can adjust his game to bait fouls. People complain that, oh, Shea does it, Luka does it, James Harden does it. Why can't Devin Booker do it? He's just not good at foul baiting then. That's fine.
I just don't think he's he shouldn't be a true number 1 on the team.
He's not.
Why he's a number 2.
Yeah.
Because he can drop 60 on any given regular season night does not make.
I don't
you a
even think he
number
can
1.
do that anymore, Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, he's not a high volume scorer anymore. That's for sure. They've taken the scorer mentality out of Devin Booker and turned him into more of a make the right play mentality and turned him into more of a point guard, if you will, as opposed to a scoring guard, shooting guard. But he's not a high volume scorer anymore. That's not.
I mean,
I
but
think
even
that's
you,
not how
Jake,
they have been playing.
even you, I received a text in the morning saying that Devin Booker was going to drop 40.
Yeah, I know.
But no,
I
but
got
Jake, I literally in my head was like, I mean, it's a possibility they need to win this game, so he needs
I mean,
to
he
take
could
over.
he can drop 40 on any given night. Also,
Yeah,
I think he's been playing.
Not
He's been playing a
the
little
other night,
injured this year.
Not going for 6 for 16. He ain't dropping 40.
No, I know. I also think he's been playing a little injured this year. There's reports that he's not at full health. Regardless of the point, no one's at full health at this point this season.
I think my point is he should always have the most shots on the team.
It's either him or Jalen Green.
All I'm
And
saying,
it's got to be one of those.
Dylan Brooks shot the most points.
He had the most points, 33 points for the Suns. If Dylan Brooks has the most points for your team and you have Devin Booker and Jalen Green on your team, I think something's wrong. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a reflection of Joe or not, but this is Jordan Knott's first playoff series, so I'm gonna I'm gonna cut him a little slack here. But I'm also looking at other stats before we close this one out. OKC free throws 21, Suns free throws 23 overall. Bench points, OKC 32, Phoenix 12. So I mean, this is just a reflection of how good the Thunder is. I know we're harping on Devin Booker a little bit. Devin Booker's probably getting guarded by three guys,
Yeah.
with three different guys, so it's going to be difficult for him, right? But I think I just want to make the reflection that the Thunder and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander are just that good. Like I don't know
They
what
are.
else to say.
They are, but there is no one that gets the same discrepancy in terms of, and that's all I'm saying. And by the way, I don't think I'm all that biased because I root for the Indiana Pacers. They made it all the way till the final game last year in the finals. I didn't complain one time about Tyrese Halliburton not getting calls. He gets plenty of calls just fine. And this is something that I watched in the regular season too about Booker. They do not like the guy, and it's clear and obvious. So, anyways, we'll move on. But I don't disagree. I don't think at this point in his career at this age, he should be your number one if you want to win a championship. Um, I don't think he can be. But I don't think you get rid of him. I think you get rid of Jalen Green because Devin Booker is still one of the top defensive rated two guards in basketball, and Jalen Green not quite as good defensively. But um, anything else as far as I mean, we've got some games today that'll be interesting to watch as far as Philadelphia and Boston goes. Any thoughts on that series?
Yeah, I think Philly had a shot if they were completely healthy with Embiid. I actually think they could have upset Boston, but because of that, um, it's not going to happen.
Is there
And
no chance he comes back at all if they extend this to game 6 or 7?
I'm not sure. The only issue that I see there is if he does come back, he's only going to be playing like 20 minutes. So it's like,
Could be
it
20
just
impactful
sucks.
minutes.
Boston's just going to get another pass and another break, and yeah. But and the Cavs Toronto series, this has actually been I think it's been one of the better series. I still think Cleveland wins that series.
He's not officially.
Okay. Well, I mean, if they can win this game and extend it to maybe 7 games, then there's a chance he could come back, which could be very, very interesting. But overall, I mean, I just think Boston's wings have outplayed Philadelphia's wings. And Philly's backcourt didn't have as great of a game as they did in game 2. So I think if they want a shot, VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey have to be the best backcourt on the court for them to have a shot. So
Okay. And then what about real quick, the Knicks series with the Hawks? What are your thoughts on that series?
this series is funny to me, bro. Like,
Knicks struggling more than I think people realize they would.
yeah, definitely. Like, it's like I've been saying about the Knicks. If Jalen Brunson's your best player, I think you've got a problem. Like if your best player is 6 feet tall, I think you got an issue. And I mean, I look at their team, right? OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns. Like they have so many players that you feel like would be better than Jalen Brunson, but for some reason, Jalen Brunson just is able to take over games, and they're not able to take over games.
Yeah.
And hey, give CJ McCollum some flowers too, bro. Like CJ's been great this series, right? And I think if Atlanta's wings have actually been playing up to par, I think Atlanta would possibly be up 3-1 right now. But Dyson Daniels and Jalen Johnson have both had bad series. And if they could have been played a little better, I think they'd be up 3-1 on the Knicks. But now it's tied.
What about your Cavs? What are your thoughts on that series with the Raptors? I mean, they're up 2-1. Got a game today.
Yeah,
First game
Scotty
this morning,
Barnes.
right? That's the game in 45 minutes, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Scotty Barnes had a hell of a game against the Cavs bigs. That's the issue with the Cavs bigs. They're very good, but then other times they just get out bullied by some guys. And Scotty Barnes just destroyed Evan Mobley that game. Like just destroyed him. But I think the Cavs will win the series, and I'm excited to see a Cavs Orlando series next round.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
That'll be a good one.
Are you guys ready for a would you rather?
I actually wanted to do a would you rather, and maybe possibly still touch on the Trump situation from last night.
I don't think we know much about that yet.
We don't
really
know too
touch
much
on
yet,
it.
other than it's a total psyop, and there's no way any human is getting into that fucking place that has retina scanners, X-rays.
No, they've released the video. Have you seen the video? He just
I
sprints
don't care.
He sprints right in past everybody, right past the metal detector. He
Yeah,
just
I don't
does
believe
it,
that either.
and they immediately pull their gun and start fighting. I mean, they've got the video, so I mean,
Yeah, I mean, Okay,
Okay.
either way, then just a quick suicide mission. Then I mean, it's just another
But he
day.
didn't die. They've got him they apprehended him. Like he didn't
No,
die.
but
Yeah,
he
I
was
I'm
know.
sure we'll
probably
hear from
he
him.
was probably planning on dying. Jake is my point.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
he didn't think it was just going to be a successful mission.
Well, this is why I think we have to do an entirely different episode on this. I don't know that these
Yeah.
people that are doing this are even fully aware of what they're doing. I believe in
Yeah.
MK Ultra. I believe
MK Ultra. Yeah.
in mind control
What's
things.
Wednesday? Let's do that Wednesday, Troy, because that could be a whole freaking
Yeah.
podcast there.
Fine,
Yeah.
fuck me then. Whatever, dude.
All right,
Yeah.
dude. Well,
Jeez.
would you rather wake up in a forest naked 5 miles from your house, or wake up in your underwear at work?
Naked in the forest. Naked in the forest. Easy because, well, actually, am I the only one at work?
Yeah, am I the only one at work? Or
Building's full.
Okay. Forest. Easy. Easy for me. I don't even care about being naked most of the time anyway, to be completely honest with you.
I mean,
So
you catch a charge, you might run into a family with kids.
I mean, this is gonna be bad. Like, yeah, I'm not trying to run into anybody with my dangling out, but like,
dude, you might run into a bear.
right? Like, I don't want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only
Yeah,
that, we live in Arizona, dude. We got a lot of little critters you got to worry about too. Not even just the bears. You got scorpions. I got
How
a
do you-
centipede on my.
You won't get fired. You won't
And-
get fired.
Yeah. So
Oh.
here's the. When's the last time I did do I have like a week to prepare? Like, can I like do a bunch
No.
of ab workouts?
No.
Because like I don't.
But
I don't
if
mind.
you'd like, either of these can be filmed to put up on the podcast.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm gonna do The Office.
Yeah, so would I. And
Yeah, no,
easy.
I'm not.
5
No.
miles is a long way to go naked.
It is.
That's fine. I'll do
Troy's
it.
just gonna be walking around slinging his
With
schlong
the
around, dude.
conditions too. Like, is it nighttime? You know. Like,
Alex will be like,
is
no,
is
it's morning,
cold out?
sun's out.
Is it
Sun's
cold
out.
out? Is it hot?
Oh,
Is it like
no,
110
you're not
degrees?
freezing to death or hot as hell.
You know, so we just get good conditions. But is it nighttime? Is it morning?
I mean, I don't really care. I don't care. What's the worst that's going to happen outside of that? Like, let's just say the animal thing doesn't happen. What people are going to say? Oh, look at that naked guy. Oh, okay, cool. You saw me
But
naked.
hold on.
You're gonna,
What
who cares? I don't give
what
a
if your
shit.
coworkers see that? Why not?
It's like
Why? You know what I was just
It's like
saying?
I
Like,
live out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
No one's going to see me.
Okay, I have
No.
another one though.
oh,
He's
jeez.
got another one, dude.
Would you rather wear a bib every time you ate out, or drink from a sippy cup every time you're at a bar?
A bit.
What? What?
I mean, like there's some. I still think it's dorky, but like there are some super wealthy people that do that. That like tuck their little bib into their biz.
Yeah, they have like their
Usually
napkin
yeah,
hanging
It's a
out.
napkin, not a bib,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it's their
No,
napkin.
they're basically little bibs. Okay, don't you
it's
worry.
a Colts bib, dude. It has the
Hey.
Velcro on the back, dog.
So to me, I'm going with the bib.
Damn, that's actually kind of tough. It's
just
tougher
feel
than
like
the naked question.
I just feel like I'd be at a really nice company dinner. I'd have to wear a fucking bib, dude. Whereas
He asked me, he wants to go into this and ask me this freaking stupid ass question instead of going into the Phillies being on a 10-game losing streak. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Phillies and Mets are ass right now. And instead of talking how bad they are, you want to ask me if I wanted to walk through a forest with my dangling.
well,
out.
I was thinking maybe you could do like a little short on baseball, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going sippy cup at the bar.
That would be so fucking funny. I would try to get Troy to the bar every Friday.
I'll go and sippy cup at the bar. Give him the sippy cup. He pours me some Jack Daniels or something.
Troy's married. Troy's married, like we all really
Yeah.
are, but so he doesn't care. He doesn't care if he goes to the bar and has a sippy.
I don't give a crap.
I guess I
dude.
wouldn't either.
It'll be a
Except for
Rams cup.
The only
too.
reason I wouldn't is like I don't go to the bar really, so I'm like I guess I'd have to start going to the bar. So
Wait, Troy, it's got to be a Ty Simpson sippy cup.
Oh my!
were you gonna wear a Ty Simpson jersey while you do it?
I'll still do it if I can do this to the bar. If I go like this, let me go L.A. and then give him the sippy cup. Then I'll do it. All right, L.A. horns up, baby.
Well,
But there, those are some good would you rather's today.
they were.
Yeah. Next
All right.
week, I think I'm gonna do really raunchy.
You have to. The last week you didn't, so you have to go back to
Save
raunchy.
your raunchy for our conspiracy ones. At least give me a break on these fucking sports days. Let me like come into this with a clean mind. It's like Sunday morning, like
Hey, would you rather always
it's the
have wet
Lord's
socks
Day.
or a small rock in your shoe?
A small rock. in
Oh,
my shoe.
small rock.
Yeah.
Wet socks are one of the most uncomfortable things ever.
Yeah, easy.
You pull off your socks at the end of the day, your feet are just pruned.
No.
Or you got like gangrene forming on your
Yeah,
toenails.
no, just callus them up. Put the rock in there. Let's go.
Dude, I
mean,
found I told Troy, I don't know if you saw, Jake, I found a podcast that literally like only does would you rathers, and they have all their fans message them in, and dude, some of them are so bad. It's like this. Ready? Ready? It goes. Would you rather walk into a psych ward and tell every patient that you've been inside the walls for the last 10 years? Or would you rather walk into a burn unit and say, man, is it hot in here or is it just me?
oh, dude,
Jesus.
that's terrible. Fuck. Those are
Look
terrible.
at Alex. He loves
Those
these,
are
dude.
terrible.
Look at him.
I'm definitely going to the psych ward, dude. I'm like, I've been in your walls.
Oh, you're definitely going to hell.
Oh, I've got other ones that you're going to hell with us, dude, next week. I promise. It's going to be brutal.
All right, so put them on
It
the
has to do with
conspiracy cast.
Make-A-Wish Foundation kids and
No,
starving African
dude,
children.
don't. I can't handle those.
Jesus, dude. He loves them. Look
All
at
right.
him.
All right,
like
well,
it.
that's gonna do it for today's episode of the Buffoons podcast. Thanks for joining the Buffoons. We'll see you next week. Join us on Wednesday for the conspiracy cast, and
Yeah,
yeah, we'll see you
everyone
next
come
time.
back
Thanks for
and
joining.
watch Jakey with his little snaky record his first ever short.
All right.
Hey, Wednesday, we're going to be
Yep.
recording a conspiracy pod, so join.
That's what
We
I
might
just
even go
said.
live.
That's
We
what
might
I
even
just
go live.
said when I closed
do
it
it
out.
You
live.
you never mentioned you said we were going to go live.
All right,
Live.
we'll do it live.
Yeah.
Bill
Okay, now you
O'Reilly,
did.
we'll do it live.
Now you did. Okay.
All right. See
All
you,
right, see you
Mickey.
then.